right, here we are. Damn it, back again.
Yeah.
What the fuck happened to you, Tom, you retard?
You didn't say zip it. You actually tried not to say zip it.
Well, it's because what you don't understand here
Look
is
at him.
we went to go start this thing, and all of a sudden I got everything set. I hit live on Mixler, and Tom starts laughing like a schoolgirl. The fuck is wrong? See, when Crunch is in here, you just get out of control.
Yeah, I lost it.
You don't want him to turn around and smack you.
We should have Alan in his place.
Oof.
Man, I got to tell you, that was funny.
Thanks for calling.
Thanks for calling.
Yep. So we're back again. How did I get in touch with us, Tom?
908-751-0211. And please don't forget to like us on Facebook.
And iTunes.
iTunes.
We got
There
a couple
too.
iTunes things. Which
Instagram. Twitter.
We're on Instagram?
Who the fuck?
Wow.
I'm just saying shit.
You know, look, you guys are the social media guys, not me.
I'm
So-
trying.
Yeah, Tad makes sort of an effort.
But you know, no.
I really don't. I am
I found,
laxed.
if I can interject with that, I found a thing on a page with Katy Perry on a Segway, and she falls off, and the thing takes off on her. She's running after it. I'm like, I got to grab that for something. I cannot for the life of me figure out how to get the code off that so I can put it on my own website.
What do you mean? What was it, like a Facebook video?
So it was
No, it wasn't Facebook. It was a clickbait on Facebook. You got to see her at the Burning Man, Katy Perry at Burning Man. There she is, all dressed up as like one of those idiots on a Segway. And she looks at somebody, she goes to wave and goes to step off, and the thing just takes off. She hits the ground, and then she's running after it as it's dragging its handlebars up the road. And I was like, I got to see this. So I went to her site. It's like I can't figure out how they link from the video off of Instagram.
Oh, you can't get back. You can't get down to it.
Yeah, it's it only brings up a little code that's just worthless.
Sure, it's got to be on YouTube.
It's possible. I got to look through there.
So what was the attraction? Is Katy Perry running?
Well, you couldn't really see much on her, but she had some kind of like gothic thing on from Burning Man.
Okay.
Katy Perry's no Taylor Swift, but she's all right.
Bah. I'll take Katy Perry over that.
Ooh,
Oh,
that's sacrilege
Taylor,
right there.
Taylor Swift don't do score from
He's
that.
going to shut your mic off. Start you on fire.
All right. Well, who's got actual car stuff? Because I know Tad went to Somerville,
Yes, I did.
and I got to tell you, it's been going on here, and I've driven past it once or twice, but I didn't realize how big it is. Like,
Yeah, you were saying.
I didn't. Tad can.
Hemmings Motor News actually did an article on it. We are the biggest on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because, Somerville Main Street isn't Somerville Main Street. It's Route 28, so it's actually a major thoroughfare. And they're shocked that they're allowed to do something like that on a major road. Have a stop. Because even when the fire trucks go, they still have to come up that road. They can't take a detour or any ambulances and stuff. But
So why don't we have a power and speed contingent go to one of these?
I've been trying to get you guys to go. You guys don't want to do it.
I don't remember him asking us to go.
We did talk about it, I think, last week, or you weren't here last week. No, you were here last week.
I was here.
I know. And by the way, Crunch is not here. He will be calling in at some point.
He will be.
No, Tad had said something about going last week, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
He has talked about it a lot.
because I always go there to get content and then see what, the latest Ultimate Racing twin turbo Lamborghini shows up, stuff like that. And it's like, one of Mike's favorites and my favorite, the Ariel Adams showing up. And I've been trying to get my hands on that guy saying, all right, which model is this?
Yeah, there's an amazing amount of exotic and nice cars there. I mean, this is like that thing I went to where the Honda
Odyssey
Odyssey
group,
guys are all chilled out over there with their
they had a
mirrors under their hoods.
They had a Tesla group here, but
We should go.
Yeah,
Well,
we probably should.
Labor Day was the last official day, though. Now it's just going to be stragglers. I don't know. There's a lot of stragglers for a while, but
You just said Tesla, and
Yes.
I just saw something that Tesla came out with a version of their car.
which one now?
I don't know. I forget what it's called. I just saw this a couple days ago, and man, I hope I'm right. But I think it has 755 horsepower, and it is now the fastest car made.
Well, they keep on showing the Tesla versus Mike's McLaren, the Tesla versus the Porsche, the Tesla's first, because it's all-wheel drive with, of course, it's not going to last very long when you're flooring it and racing it on the track, before you have to recharge it. But
Well, if it can go a half a mile,
yeah,
but
Fuck them things, dude. They're still golf carts.
I know.
mean,
I know. I'm just saying that's pretty impressive.
I don't think that I'd ever. They got to go a good distance, and they got to charge at a reasonable rate.
they do charge at a fast rate if you got a 240, outlet or like one of their official.
Yeah, but what's a fast rate? Do you even know what fast rate is? It's not 10 minutes, right?
Not 10 minutes. No, it's a few hours, but it's not an overnight thing. It's like if I took it to work, I think it charges in 4 hours or something like that.
Well, I think the real thing is just the battery life. Batteries just aren't there yet.
Right.
Yeah, I don't
Once
think
they get better.
they don't know yet.
They're
right?
also doing the dropout battery so you can get to someplace, drop a battery off and pick up a fully charged battery. So you don't have to charge it. You just come in, swap batteries, go.
I can see some issues with that because then you get a bad battery. Like one that's got.
Or you wear out your battery and you go exchange it for somebody else's good battery.
Exactly.
And some poor schmuck gets your piece of shit.
Yeah.
But I think it's the thing that you don't own the battery. It's a Tesla thing. You just come in, swap out to the new one, and they'll whatever. But
if it's sponsored by Tesla, that might not be bad. They maintain the batteries.
Well, there is a Tesla charging site in Somerville, right on 22 there, according to their website. Because I just looked at it.
They're pretty good looking cars,
and they are peppy. We'll use that term. I told you that one that wasn't even a good one was in front of me the one night, and I'm sitting there at the traffic light, like half not paying attention, and all of a sudden things like gone, and I'm like, what the fuck?
It's like Back to the Future.
Yeah, like it got you. Just that moment that you're
gigawatts?
Like, what just happened? Because didn't make a sound,
right,
and just took off.
That's got to be weird driving that though. When you floor it and it just like accelerates with nothing.
Well, it's like a golf cart. I mean, golf carts are always kind of weird to drive.
Yeah, but they don't go that fast,
Well, I get it. We had the one golf cart here we fucked with some batteries and stuff, and that thing, it wouldn't go fast. It would go like maybe 25, but
it would get there.
Getting there was good on the bottom.
Well, you could also we used to bring zip tie when we played golf a lot. We used to bring zip ties with us, and if you zip tied the governor,
the caddy.
No, the governor.
Oh, you're talking about the gas ones?
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the electric ones.
Yeah, I know, but still, I think there's a governor on the electric ones too.
No, I think they're just current limited. It's the speed controls. Because that was one of the things. Like when like anything else, like car guys will get into fucked up stuff. You start to look at the golf cart stuff, and it's out of control. Like $1,500 speed controllers, and it gets crazy.
Or the guys that lift them so they can be the blah blah blah.
Or like the guys that put 750 Yamaha engines in them.
Well, that's the right way, I think. But anyway.
So I know I'd like to get to Somerville, and I actually was thinking about trying to get there this week, but the car was dirty. It was late by the time I got done with work, and I was like, and Tad sent a shitload of pictures.
Yeah, a bunch of pictures. Like
that was just one end and the other end, and they especially the DB9. Made sure it was a DB9. Then the guy just stands out there, and everybody's coming up to, what kind of car is that? And it's with Aston Martin DB9 right there.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
I want to talk about my Durango for a minute.
Oh boy.
No, it's all good. Actually, that thing is pretty nice.
I want to hear the stereo on that. I heard they're supposed to be booming.
It is. It's pretty good. The electronics package in that thing is really nice. But Mike would be impressed. I drove home from Delaware, and I went 112 miles at 70 miles an hour. Didn't touch cruise control. I just left it on, and it got 28.6 miles to the gallon.
That ain't bad.
Does that thing have all the dumb shit that like it'll follow the car in front of you and stuff?
No, I didn't order that.
Really?
Yeah, it's available. But
you didn't get that?
No.
Oh, I'd love to have that shit.
Did you ever try it? It scares the shit out of you.
Why?
Because you'll be driving and talking and driving, all of a sudden it's on, like somebody cuts in front of you, and like you've been driving so long, you know that it's okay, but the car doesn't know. And it's on the brakes. I mean, on the brakes, like emergency shit.
Really?
My wife can't, like the minivan has it. And
minivan?
The one you were driving or the other one?
No, the one that I was driving, the red one.
It had that, really?
Yeah, thing's loaded.
That thing looked like it was a 1989. I mean, I guess they just looked that way.
No, it's a 07, and it's got everything. It's got front and rear radar, and it's really got everything that they offer in a Toyota, except it's red and ugly as ass. But yeah, I mean, we'd be driving. The first time it got me, like I'm driving down Route 18 going 70, and somebody pulls in front of me, and thing's on the brakes. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I didn't even know what it was. I just had the cruise on.
Well, my friend Cody, he had an older 300, and it did have that. And I think I drove it once, but I don't think because leave it to me to fuck with something. But I think wherever I was going, there was no real way to do it. But he said it was, nice, that it worked well. Yeah. I mean, hopefully, look, this is years ago now. Like, I mean, Cody's 300 was, I don't know.
Probably the same year as the minivan.
It was probably maybe a year newer than that, but you would think that technology side should get better.
Yeah.
It should.
Yeah, but what can they do? I mean, if you're going to set something up to stop you when you're too close to a car, it's be hard to modulate.
Big difference between avoidance and just following. You know, like just, I mean, because as you're reeling in, you know, somebody, I guess they could think, you know, if something suddenly jumps out, I guess that's always a factor if a guy just cuts in front of you. You know, where normally you'd like just let it roll right up on and be like,
but
douchebag.
it's not even cutting in front of you. See, I think the way they do it is, you know, there's obviously an algorithm for it, but the to break it down to simple terms, they probably use one car length per 10 miles an hour. So you're going 70 and 100 feet in front of you, which, you know, if you've been driving long enough, 100 feet in front of you, you know, it's over the horizon. Like 100 feet in front of you, somebody gets in your lane, you don't even consider it. They don't have to put their blinker on, but this thing sees it and jams the brakes till it gets back to where it's comfortable.
Yeah, I guess that's true because a lot of times, like you'll cruise down the road with cruise control and the guy in front of you might be, you know, 3 or 4 cars. That's it.
Yeah. Can't do that with this.
Well, you would think it should measure rate of closure.
Well, maybe the higher end cars do it, and that thing is just, you know, the base.
I don't know.
I get all that shit. I get everything.
Okay.
Any technology stuff, anything.
Yeah, see, I didn't want to get that because all I had was bad experience with it.
Yeah. Well, if you test drove something,
yeah,
maybe you'd know.
Didn't like it.
I mean, I can tell you that from the technology side, my lovely piece of shit yellow Corvette, that radio might as well be from like 1989. I mean, it's one step short of a tape deck.
Couldn't have been worse than the BMW I rented.
They're terrible. I told you they suck.
You did. You did. That thing was crazy. I couldn't even figure it out.
Yep. Stupid fucking knob in the middle and everything. I don't know why they did that.
Oh, actually, that thing, everybody complains about that. All the car magazines hate that knob.
What, the BMW knob?
Yeah. The IE, whatever.
Yeah. The I knob.
When we went to your favorite fast food place yesterday, or Sunday, I got my first ride in a Kia Optima.
Yeah.
You can't believe for such a cheap car what that thing's got inside it. Thing's actually got an air-conditioned glove box.
Yeah.
And the heated and cooled cup holders, heated and cooled back seats, front seats, everything. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Well, somebody corrected me on this because for a little while, and I'm still kind of half-heartedly looking for a nice regular car.
Right.
You know, like just a regular, like 4-door.
Beater?
No, not a beater. You know, I don't want a beater. I want a nice regular car. So I looked at like Mercedes, looked at a bunch of different things. And I drove one of those Hyundai Equus things.
Right.
What a nice car.
Oh, yeah, they are.
And I mean, for the price, I would tell you that you could put it right up against a Mercedes. It's really that good.
That's
now,
what this felt like. But
somebody corrected me because I thought Kia and Hyundai were related, but I guess they're not.
No, they are.
They are.
Yeah, but they're not. They're a portion.
Yeah,
by.
40% of Kia is owned by Hyundai.
Right.
So I think the K900 is probably the equivalent
of the Equus. Yeah.
That's the upper class.
Yeah. And I mean, it was a beautiful car.
And they share engines and transmissions.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And they had like an R-spec one, but I mean, the price, and not that it's cheap, but I mean, Jesus, you go price a new diesel pickup and it's stupid. But, you look at, it's 60,000 or so.
Yeah.
And there were only like 1 or 2 little options you get. So I think on the high side, you got to like maybe 65 or 66.
That's the Genesis on the Hyundai level.
No.
Equus.
Genesis.
Equus is the high end.
Yeah.
The Genesis is.
No,
the
incorrect. Clitoris.
The Equus isn't the coupe. The coupe and the big one, the 4-door, share the same name, but not the same platform.
Right.
It's not Genesis.
Right. It is Genesis. But Equus is one above it.
Yeah. It's a different platform.
I know you want to be right. I know.
I worked for Hyundai.
I know.
How long ago?
Sad.
Too long.
Sad. He's on his new Air.
I'm on my iPad Air looking it up.
You looked it up.
Look
ladies.
wherever you want, buddy.
So one video we have to post.
The Minions?
The Minions I posted.
You do it.
Sorry, import guys, but that was kind of funny. Tad had sent a video because it tied into our fuel injection discussion with Alan, the great equalizer who wants the little guy to be able to use any injectors he could.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Tad was researching because of that particular conversation, or it was just you were perusing F1 videos. I don't know where it came from that you ran across that, but it's a really interesting video showing, like in the airbox of what goes on, like in an F1 car injector. And it's absolutely amazing. I mean, like to be able to see what's actually happening at those RPM levels. I mean, it's not slowed down. I mean, but you can see the intake wave. You can see everything. It's amazing. It's really amazing.
The Renault thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I posted that, not that.
Oh, you posted that?
Yeah.
Well, I was saying that posted. I saw that a long time ago. I showed it to you.
Yeah, it's been available.
Yeah.
I watch it every 3-4 months just because I think it's cool.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know. But so, well, again, thanks for the attempted contribution, Tad. Nothing again. But yeah, that
All right, let's go back in time a little bit, and I'll let him have the credit for it.
that kind of shows exactly what we were talking about with the fuel injected stuff. And then, when we talked about all the EFI stuff in Pro Stock, there were, things on Yellow Bullet, those retards will argue about anything.
Yeah.
Nobody, Warren Johnson's not selling his carburetors. Of course he is, like there's 500 threads. If you're stupid, no, you're stupid.
Yeah.
But,
And they're all stupid.
Yeah. Warren is selling, his carburetors. And, he did say that they were going to be, approximately 80 down, out of the box.
Yep.
But if everybody's got to work within exactly the same parameters of equipment that matters, like fuel injectors, box, everything else, I think it's a great deal.
It is.
I think it's be fun.
No doubt. And I think the tuner is going to play into it, but not really much. I mean, people talk about how good the tuners have to be, but to do what they do, I mean, to mat it and, tune the bottom row, there's really not a whole lot they could do. They could take chances at how lean they want to run the stuff. It's about,
I can't, I wonder how the resolution of that thing is. You know what I mean? Like
who did their box? Oh, Holly.
It's a Holly box. But I wonder how the resolution is. And like, can you, like some of the fuel injected boxes, you can put the focus, like basically assign more programmable regions, like in your important area.
Mm-hmm.
So like, low speed, you've got a couple boxes, so it could be stupid,
mm-hmm.
And then the areas that matter. Because I mean, to me, the resolution, this is going to be fucked up. And this gets into what Tom and I were talking about earlier. Carburetors realistically are, since they're analog, they're infinite.
Yep.
If you took in another atom of air, you could really pull in
another
14.1% atom of fuel, or, whatever it worked out to be.
Or 14.7.
Yeah. You know what I mean.
Whatever that number is.
Yeah, 14.7. But
Stoic.
I mean, there's, and when we talked about carburetors and, I wish there was a good carburetor guy that we could talk to. I mean, I know Dan from VDL, who we worked with forever on the 2-barrel stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me really showed how much difference there is from carburetor to carburetor. Everybody says, well, we float them all and we picked the best one. Not it. I mean, that's not the answer. Atomization, booster location, was everything. You could have one carburetor that flowed better, on a regular flow bench and be terrible in power. Brake specifics bad. I mean, everything about it was bad. So when you see that kind of thing and you see that phenomenon take place,
right
now, that really makes you think that the injector side of things, you really need a lot of programmable locations, I think. But
I'm not sure of that. I'm not so sure. But one thing you just said, it just brings into play again how the flow numbers are really not significant a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Cylinder heads, people get crazy on them, intake manifolds, carburetors, and you can definitely hurt yourself with a big number.
And, it's kind of tough because you have to have a certain amount of flow because you need to move a certain amount of air.
Yep.
You have to.
Yep.
But I think once you have enough flow, then it's kind of what you do with it.
Yep.
Know how well everything works. But I mean, you could never have a Pro Stock motor that flows 170 CFM on a flow bench.
No.
It's not going to happen.
No.
But it was an amazing variance. I mean, we could get a 2-barrel carburetor that was a good one. And like, let's say our best one or our average one, our dyno carburetor was like our baseline. We'll call that 0.
Mm-hmm.
You get a good one, it could be like 7 or 8 better.
Wow.
Peak torque and peak horsepower. You get a bad one, they could be down 30 and never miss a beat, never do anything wrong, not be too rich, not be too lean, just bag of shit. And
crazy.
We'd send him back to VDL and he'd be like, there's nothing wrong with him. And they'd put him on 4 cylinders, and the 4-cylinder guys, because it was a 2-barrel, they called it a 500.
Yep.
But they'd put them on the 4 cylinders and they'd be perfect.
Yeah, they had a different intake that fed at a different pulse, or
now I think what happened is that, and it's the same thing that happened with the plate stuff and the small carb stuff, the 390 stuff. When you're pulling such a velocity of air through,
mm-hmm.
things get really touchy. So now you've got these things on a 4-cylinder and they're not pulling quite the volume of air, and maybe it's a better area for the carburetor to work. You're not, you're really making a carburetor work outside its range when you got a 2-barrel on something that makes over 500 horsepower at,
and that's exactly what I was going to say, that's exactly what the problem is.
Yeah.
You're trying to get it to work outside its range.
Can't it go like supersonic on an intake that's too small, trying to suck in, like what screws up the,
I don't know
the bleeds?
Do they call it supersonic?
Oh, if it goes past that, that speed on the intake.
I thought you were just making shit up.
Word.
No, but I mean, like those things, they'd actually develop manifold vacuum at wide open throttle at, over 6,000.
Right.
They'd actually start, because we used the power valve to pull the fuel back, so as they went to go over. I don't know. I'm really interested to see what the fuel injected stuff brings. I really am.
Yeah, me too.
And, you look at that F1 thing, and that's why I want to post that, where their injectors are placed. Their injectors are over the Airstream.
Yep.
And I'm telling you, and I'd have to look back and see for sure. It was my phone, fell down. I'd have to look back. I'm pretty sure Kinzer in their fuel injectors, they had some, look, and a down nozzle is the best. When you have a down nozzle, it's in the right place. They can be like magic. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why that is. And I don't know if it's still the case. I know it used to be. And I know if you look at most of the sprint cars now, you'll see, the pairs of fuel lines coming off.
Yeah, they still do.
All right. So obviously, and apparently like the location of that, the angle of it, like the littlest bit is like magic. Like there's really a right place for it. But I remember that Kinsler made a set of stacks that the injectors were actually facing up. They were actually, and I said that to Alan, I think he argued with me, but I mean, I remember seeing it because we had to order a set of bushings that screwed in to a regular injected manifold to turn it into an electronic manifold. And the guy says, well, he was trying to figure out which one we had. If we had, a direct, normal ejection, or there was a set of plugs at the top to shoot up. And I'm like, up. And that was for something like Indy. Maybe it was an RPM related thing, but I mean, now that they limited the pro stock engines, but still there's pretty good RPM involved there.
Yeah, I wonder. Well, I mean, they're going to make all that stuff has to be right in view of the fans, right?
I don't know.
I mean, it did at the end of this year. They had to lose the intake manifold covers and carb covers and all that stuff. I would guess they're going to try to do the same thing, because I would think those guys would want to play with that stuff.
Well, look, these are common plenum. So, I mean, was there any rule about where injectors were placed? No.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Mm-mm.
I didn't get into reading that depth, that depth.
Yeah, I don't believe that. I don't believe there was. So, I mean, and it's going to be interesting to see about manifold designs. Are they gonna do an LS type manifold where things wrap around to try to make the runners longer?
They might have to.
I don't know, because they're not.
Do they need the volume is what you're going to say, right?
Yeah. Do they need the volume? Do they need the length?
They need to be under the hood.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think they want the length, because you need that for torque, not for the high end that they were at. But
well, don't forget that motor that Alan was working on, that thing that the same one that's in Brian's older Trans Am, that's an LT1, the reverse cool one, and they had a little tiny short runner, and GM back when they did that, they called it untuned, and when you went from like the conventional, I guess it was an L98 style of GM fuel injection, the ones went underneath, they crossed over underneath, and then they had the runners on the sides. When you drove one of those things, they felt fantastic. Just driving around, it's like just touch the throttle, like, they felt like they go 1,000,000 miles an hour.
That was a 2-stroke sound effect you just used.
What?
Yeah.
you pull out on the highway, you mat the thing, doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
It's no different than if you used quarter throttle.
Yep.
Now, Brian's LT1, that Trans Am he had, that thing felt like more of a real motor. Had a nice power curve, a little bit dead on the very, very bottom. So I'm like, and I had said it before, and I'm curious to see if, I don't know if it's a direct proportion, if you're going to be able to take a somewhat dry manifold and apply your current runner thoughts to it. Plenum, all that stuff, I think that was for fuel distribution, plenum capacitance. I think a lot of that's going to go away. I'm really curious what's going to happen.
Could be.
I'm anxious to see, when they first hit the track with this stuff.
I thought a lot of that was just so to have the carburetors meter the air, you needed the plenum.
Well,
Because remember you tested on your thing the one time, individual runner Weber carbs on some engine or whatever, and then you put a plenum on there, and you said the plenum blew the individual runners away.
well, it's individual runners. IR stuff generally works at they work better than anything in a very
Short range.
kind of like a Zoomy.
Yeah.
Same sort of deal. And I'm sure what that is, it's the plenum capacitance is exactly what it is. That if you're giving that particular runner more carburetor than it has if it was an individual. So there's the chance that it will scavenge from what's available in the plenum at any given time. Same thing with the header. It's the same deal.
Yeah, it's more of a balance thing, I think, because you want to keep signal up at all times, and it uses different cylinders to keep the balance in the plenum.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, and and that's why, and if you looked at like any of the pro stock manifolds, you see they always have, different amounts of spacers in the top side. And sheet metal manifolds, they're tough because when you have hood clearance issues, like I got to tell the story. There was forever in the super stock stuff and the big block, rectangular port stuff. We were using, they say we, it was really my father. It was a Holly strip dominator that Rear Morrison redid. And that was the manifold. That manifold was magic. You had to have it. My father had talked to Dick Maskins and he says, you need to copy this manifold and you need to make exactly what we got here. They sent him the manifold. It came back. It was nothing like the Rear Morrison one. Wasn't right. I mean, nothing about it was good. And I remember Tommy and my father were like, what the fuck? It's not even close. And the thing was fantastic. I guess, and it was sizing and everything else. So I remember, I'm not going to say the guy's name, but a very good sheet metal guy, very well-known sheet metal manifold guy, said to one of our Superstock customers, I will build you a sheet metal manifold and it's going to be worth 20. And, if you could pick up 20 in Superstock, it's like picking up, probably 50 in pro stock. Or maybe, it's huge.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So we're like, fuck, what are you going to do? And the guy says, well, I'm going to have him build it with a money back guarantee that if it doesn't work, we're going to get our money back. It was 20. All right. The wrong way.
Yep.
That was round one. Round two, we were down to 15 the wrong way. Round three, might have got to 10. Round four went back to 15. I mean, that manifold, I hate it. It has more miles on it than it would have had in a car if it was in there for 5 years in drag passes, back and forth to the guy's place.
And at best, it was 10 worse.
Couldn't get it. Couldn't make it any good.
Yeah.
Tried and tried and tried. And again, that was a very, very top of the line sheet metal manifold guy. So the manifold side of things.
Was it Wilson?
No.
Hogan?
No. Why you make me throw the guy under the bus?
I don't know.
It's a tough thing to do. And it's like single 4-barrel, like comp stuff was tough to do.
Does it matter anymore?
Nah, not really. I don't give a shit.
Well, who is it?
It was Hogan. Yeah. It was Hogan. But in fairness, the guy worked his ass off. He did refund the customer when he couldn't make it as good.
They make good stuff. They can't hit everything.
Of course they do.
They don't hit a home run every time.
But it's just when you're dealing with space requirements like we now have in pro stock.
Yep.
I'm really curious how this is going to be. And I don't think I saw anything in the rules that the manifold had to be metal. I don't think I saw that.
I didn't see that either, no.
No, I don't think. I mean, I'm sure that these, as we get closer here.
So you think there's going to be some plastic stuff?
Well, everything's composite anyway now,
Well.
Or composite.
That's same thing from that.
Let me tell you.
Hyundai.
We had 2 fires in the dining room. 2. Only 2.
One with Joe, one Matt?
No. One of those fires was when Tommy and Tommy were testing pro stock motors, and they just throttled back a pro stock motor, cut the fuel off, cut the, ignition off, and the thing's just coming down, just shut the switch off for no reason at all. Just hear a backfire. We're up front. And I hear Tommy, Tommy Martino, he's like, holy fuck, everybody's carrying on, walking back. Whole back of the shop's fucking orange.
Wow.
And what happened is they had a composite top and it kicked back. It broke the top and the throttle linkage, had like Enderley throttle linkage or whoever brand it was.
Yep.
Mounted to the sides of the manifold.
Yep.
When the top blew off, it just flipped the carburetors over 90 degrees.
Right on the headers.
Right on the headers.
Beautiful.
And that thing lit up and it was crazy. I mean, we were hosing a roof down, everything else, but I don't think they're allowed to have composite manifolds anymore.
They may not be.
I
don't know.
But that was, whew.
I guess they wouldn't be allowed in your place.
I still remember that because fire was no joke.
Yeah.
No joke.
Fire.
So did you hear about this Dan Gurney at 84 years old
Oh yeah.
patented a opposite rotation engine? He received a patent for it. Calls it moment canceling 4-stroke engine.
What?
Moment canceling.
Listen, the retard hillbillies were trying to get away with that for years.
Yeah,
years and years and years.
But you did it. You got impounded so they could make sure your motors spin the right way.
No. This is a motor with 2 cranks in it,
Really?
and they spin opposite directions.
I've seen them before.
Really?
How could you have seen it before?
Because that's old.
He just patented it.
They didn't patent it, or they just let the patent lapse. But
Wow.
Well, Tad's very good at this antique, weird, strange shit. Explain, Tad.
Yeah, go ahead.
well, that's a engine that doesn't have a cylinder head either.
Well, this one has a cylinder head.
See, it's a different engine.
So what does it have? 2 crankshafts and a common output?
Yeah, they're geared on the side, and it has a cylinder head and cams and everything. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out and understand why moment canceling is important. I guess we need to read about this.
Well, I don't know either, because the reaction of the torque through the car happens, like Corvettes have no torque reaction, because they're the way the driveline is, independent rear suspension.
The differential's bolted to the car.
Yeah, the differential is essentially connected to the back of the motor. Neither one can rotate. So I don't know what that would do.
Don't know. I'm going to read about it, but I thought I'd bring it up because we have no content for today.
Yeah, we really didn't do too much prep. Crunch is going to be calling in at some point. 908-751-0211 if
we're
anybody's
hoping.
listening.
Yeah. Hey, it was a, what? Genesis what?
Genesis Hyundai. That's the top line.
No, it's not the top line
What?
douche nozzle.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's
not.
not.
Mm-hmm.
It is not.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you want to hit him with
Well,
a
I mean,
hammer?
look at him. He's like, with a smug little look. Listen,
Just
Stark,
because you're saying it doesn't mean it's
No.
true, Alan.
it's called an Equus.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean, uh-huh?
Whatever.
Wow.
Look it up.
What
I
language
did.
was that?
It's the Genesis.
It's not the top of the line car, unless they discontinued the Equus when I wasn't looking.
Probably.
You should look at that Genesis R. That is a cool car.
Yeah.
The
Well,
4.6, 400 horsepower deal.
yeah.
420.
Yeah.
The Equus is too big.
I thought it was absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, they are.
And if I really was serious about buying a car, I probably would have bought that before the Mercedes. I really probably would have. And I know it sounds pretty stupid, but I probably would have.
No, it doesn't sound stupid. So what the phone system's not even on?
No, it was on, but it wasn't set to auto answer because I'm stupid.
Not the first.
What did you find, Tad?
I'm looking at the Genesis.
All right, Tad, talk for a minute. I'm going to use the real Google and show you what an Equus is.
Go for it. Anyway.
So what else?
What?
What else we got? I know Tad has brought in his copy of Mad Max, the movie.
I can't cut it apart until Mike sees it so he can agree with me on how wrong it was.
Did they at least keep with a good car theme? Was the car stuff
No.
it? Really?
The cars are all there. In the Mad Max, not the Mad Max, the Mel Gibson ones, the cars all had reoccurring spots. You knew the cars, you knew who was driving what and blah, blah, blah. This one, you saw that car's cool, smash, crash, whatever. And his car, right off the bat, got destroyed. And he got caught, destroyed. And then he's captured and he keeps on going, that's mine. That's mine,
All right, Tad, you've been saved. We have a couple callers here.
Yeah.
Good, yay.
Hang on a minute.
Answer rest, though. Answer rest stop.
Stop. Oh.
Daniel?
Hey,
Hey, man.
how's it going?
What's up?
What's up, chap?
I just wanted to say Tom had an incredibly sexy voice.
What's going on, bro?
Oh, nothing much. Just wanted to call in and say keep up the good work.
How you feeling?
Oh, I'm alive.
Good.
Obviously, Tom knows this guy.
Yeah, I know Dan.
How do you know this guy?
Clue us in?
He's a fighter pilot.
Is he really?
Yeah. He's legit. He is.
Yeah, the computer game that.
Yeah.
Douchebag.
I didn't lie. No, he's a cop up in on the island. Why can't I think of the name, man?
Martha's Vineyard.
Martha's Vineyard. Think of how bad the crime is on Martha's Vineyard.
The mean streets of Martha's Vineyard. Jesus.
He pulls over to Kennedy's and shit, you know?
They hate us because they hate us.
Yeah. He'd be like, hey, I'm pulling you over because your car costs way too much money.
Yeah, I imagine you see a lot of nice stuff up there, huh?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know a whole lot about one really old Ford drove by yesterday. I wanted to get a picture of it. It was absolutely amazing, pristine condition. I mean, people got some serious wheels up here.
Yeah. And money.
Serious.
Well, I'm glad to hear you're doing good, bro. And I'm
Yeah. I just wanted to, you still have a sexy voice, brother.
Thanks.
Hi. Keep
Thanks.
Good work, guys.
All right, man.
All right, thanks for checking in, buddy.
Yeah, no worries. Later.
All
See
right,
ya.
later.
Guy likes you.
He back in the day, he and I were both on this gaming team, and first person shooter deal, and
You're really making it sound a lot better.
a lot of fun. Well, it was fun. We used to kill people,
Uh-huh.
a lot of them.
Okay. I think next caller is this Crunch.
Dude, what's going on, fellas?
What's up, man? Please tell me you have something, because we really got nothing today.
James,
Well, I was listening to the show the whole time as I was trying to call in, and it kept telling me the number was disconnected. You didn't activate it. But I was listening to you, Mike, and I'm telling you, this show that we have is so informative. This is a great show, bro. And this is coming from one of the hosts that's listening, and I can't believe that we get into so much depth of carburation, atomization of fuel. You can name all the things, man. We talk about a lot of stuff. I was sitting here listening for so much, I had forgotten I was supposed to call in.
Well, we got into, and Tom and I had a little bit of discussion about it too. I know a fair amount of people. And I mean, there are people that are still relevant today that I could call to be like, hey, look, do you want to come on? Do you want to talk? And even on the entrance page, we said, look, you're going to be surprised at the people that we could have call in. But it gets a little tough. I mean, for me, I don't give a shit. I'll just call them up and be like, look, do you want to come on? Do you want to talk? I'd like to talk to you about this. And I mean, I should probably give like somebody like Tommy Martino a call and talk to him about the pro stock stuff. See if he, I know that he doesn't do a lot of the pro stock stuff anymore.
no, but he still knows a lot about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, we can get guys like that. And the people that I've known, like my friend Robert Jessel, there's a lot of people that I could have call, and same with Tom. But you get into this, like I said to Tom, I said, hey, what about so-and-so? Can you call him up? And he's like, fine line.
Yeah.
I don't want to call him up like I'm the guy that, works for the company he works for and then says, look, I need you to call in, because
Right.
it's we're going to restructure a little bit of this and try to have some people on, because I only know so much. And honestly, I'm not as relevant as I used to be because I just don't do it.
Oh, don't sell yourself short.
Yeah, but I'm not like,
The knowledge is applicable no matter what.
I don't know, like the new Ellis stuff. I mean, like it's in my car.
It's an air pump.
And I've seen, but I mean, like, you talk about like the manifold designs and the different things they've got, you get away from that shit and it's just different. But certain things like, I always tell people that the best learning that you can get and the best education, any of this stuff, is watching all the different things that people go through, like with that 2-barrel carburetor thing. That taught me so much about why carburetors work and how important they are. And that carburetor thing got a little deeper because it wasn't just booster location, because you could have two piece of shit carburetors. They're both bad. Okay. They're both bad. Like they're both down like 10.
I know what you're going to say because you told me this.
Switch the metering blocks from one bad one to another bad one. And now you might have one good one and one acceptable one.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have two that turn into both complete bags of shit, but and so it tells you about what the emulsion tubes really do, and this is what the new car guys don't know about. They don't know what made a motor work to begin with. Like vacuum advance, no idea.
No idea.
No clue.
Right. Well, you asked me what did I have for tonight. I took my trip Friday night after work to Greensboro, North Carolina, and I went to Charlotte to visit my sister. But I came up with, as I was driving in the daytime where I could see, I was looking in backyards and different places. There are a lot of cars sitting and asking to be refurbished, redone, rebuilt, painted, new motors. There's a lot of stuff up and down that highway.
It's funny you
85.
you bring this up. I chased a guy the other day in a late 70s Malibu. An old guy, like exactly like what I'm looking for, like the grandma or grandpa's car.
Yep.
Guy goes driving by. I said, two-door? It's a two-door. Oh, and I banged a Yui. I was in the Corvette. I turned right around on Route 28, jumped on it to get up to him, and the old guy blew a red light, and I'm like, motherfucker. He actually went through a red light. Like, I mean, he's probably that old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Didn't care.
No, just, light. And it was a good red. It was a dark red. The guy rolls right through it. I'm like, son of a bitch. I know the direction he went, but I saw that. I mean, you got to wonder, like, people like that, I know that for the longest time by my mom's house, there was a little garage that sat right close to the road, and there was like a 66 or 60, maybe 5 Nova sitting in the garage. Looked perfect. Mm-hmm. You go by the door, be up, and it sat there forever. And I remember people stopping, to see if she'd sell it. And she's like, no, I don't want to sell it.
Mm-hmm.
People even offered to buy her like a new car. No, I don't want to sell it. I like it. So there's got to be a lot of shit like that.
Oh, there is.
That's your deal, Tad. Your Barn Find Nation thing.
Well, that's the dealership that I deal with. Find stuff. They just found 2 Cudas, a 70 and a 71, that have been sitting in a backyard for, God, I can't tell you how many years.
Where?
They won't tell me.
I mean, that's a big find.
Very big. And the one is it's a bench seat column shift and a Cuda, which it's got to be a rare option. I mean, It's probably a slant 6 option, but regardless,
doesn't matter.
Mopar guys are wingnuts.
So there you go. That's a good way to endear yourself with the listeners.
I was a Mopar guy, so it don't matter.
Cars. I saw a bunch of good cars this weekend, man. I'm telling you, there's a lot of cars out there that just all they need to be is taken and some love put on them, and they'll be beautiful, beautiful hot rods. A lot of them out there.
Well, even in Somerville, what you should have been there. This guy had a 78 Nova, pops the hood. He's got the straight 6 with 3 2-barrels on it. And then you got to sit there and think, because I had one of them way back in 70. I had a 78. The intake manifold is a cast iron integral exhaust and intake.
Mm-hmm.
So he actually had to swap to an older straight 6 to do that. And I was like, wow. How well, you had that guy that came with the Chevelle with the straight 6 and had your father rebuild that.
Oh, that weirdo. Yeah,
so you got people that are hardcore straight 6 guys.
Yeah, that's a different group. Yeah. They surpass the Buick and Olds and Pontiac guys.
The straight 6ers.
Yeah.
Well, the straight 6 motors piss me off, to be honest. When I see that just pisses me off. So,
agreed.
There you go.
They'd be better off joining the Honda Odyssey group.
Well, fellas, I couldn't make it there tonight, but it sounds like everything is a go and beautiful. Tom, how are you?
I'm good, man. I was just thinking, it would be funny if we would have got Alan here, and right about this time, Alan was saying, well, thanks for calling.
Oh, that would have been good.
No, it wouldn't have been as good as you last week, Crunch, but
oh man,
it would have been funny.
That was just so funny because he's talking and he'd be quiet and you'd say thanks for calling and you just start laughing. I don't know if enough people really found that as funny as I did, but I sure did.
No, I did too. We did.
Well, it's an inner circle thing. So
kind of.
Alan is my friend. I like Alan. And he took it well. We texted each other and everything was good. Just all in fun. And power and speed, we're going to the next level with the download and the T-shirts and the giveaway. Mike, you have to talk about the giveaway for the end of the year.
Yeah, we gotta do something with that. We gotta figure out, because I mean it'll actually be pretty substantial. I mean we'll come up with it. It'll be pretty good. And we're trying to decide if it's going to be like one person wins something or it's
3 people.
3 people. We'll figure something out.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, listen, don't get your hopes up, guys. Nobody's going to Hawaii or nothing.
No,
but I mean,
no.
It'll
might go to Hackensack.
Yeah, it'll be good for.
They're going to Island.
All right, I'm gonna get off the phone, Mike, and I'm gonna go back to Mixler because I like that. I'm trying to get better with that. That Mixler was pretty clear. I like that.
All right, so it sounds okay. Yeah, because we never get to listen to it as it goes out live. We don't know. It could sound like a bag of shit for all I know.
Well, I did when I was doing.
Tell me, thanks for calling.
Thanks for calling, Crunch. Have a nice evening, buddy.
Later, bud.
All right, fellas.
Later.
Bye-bye.
Oh, and I got to tell you, Mike, you'll love this. Yes, the Equus is a higher end car.
We knew that.
We knew that. I mean,
I worked there, and all they kept on going is the Genesis is going to take over Genesis. So we never had an Equus there the entire time I was there.
And so just, again, you've confirmed that I'm right again. Tom has learned this lesson several times over. Now you
know
have
what?
to learn this.
I shall bow to you for Hyundais. No problem.
Yeah, they are a badass car. They really are a nice car. And you don't see a lot of them. You really don't.
No, for good reason. The things weigh almost 5,000 pounds. I mean, they're
I don't
tanks.
think that's a good reason, because I bet if you go look at a Mercedes, they're probably right there.
Well, it depends on which one you're looking at.
I don't think anybody knows how much cars weigh in the real world.
No, nobody cares.
No.
It seems like that they just don't care.
Funny thing, I don't even know what my Durango weighs.
A lot.
I looked. Don't you remember? I looked, and I looked, and it wasn't. I thought,
wasn't that bad? Or it's crazy?
I thought it was. I thought somebody said it was similar to the Hellcat.
Yeah, that could be.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
700, you got the 700 horsepower too?
No.
Yeah, it was something similar to that. But yeah, people don't care about that anymore. I mean, the only reason I pay attention to it is, for me, it automatically tells you if you know what it makes for power and you know what it weighs, you know how it should feel.
Right.
I mean, I don't need to drive it. I just need to know those two things, and it should give you a good clue.
The thing is not bad. It makes 300. The paddle shifter really works well.
Yeah.
I mean, it shifts on demand for real. And I like it. And did I tell you? I did tell you. I didn't tell the audience. So I talked to my buddy at
4,800 pounds.
That's not terrible for a big boat truck.
Yeah, I was thinking it's going to be a 5 or
so. I talked to one of my buddies who is in calibration at Chrysler, and he confirmed that we could put a fairly decent turbo on that thing and not do anything but tune it.
They should be able to.
Now, is that a direct injection motor?
Yeah.
So they are.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know how you start getting more fuel. Is it just going to be with
because there's headroom. There's enough.
Is there?
Yeah, there's enough room in the system that you can turn it up. I told him I want to. I was talking about needs 100, so I told him I wanted 150, and that would be.
But in fairness, it probably needs more than 100. It probably really needs like 200.
Well, I mean, to be a rocket ship or somewhat of a rocket ship.
Well, you got a Subaru for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, wait a minute.
No, but I mean,
Friday.
If you look at, something, I'm trying to give you a parallel. I mean, it's a goofy example, but like
the V10 pickup truck.
Yeah, they were
SRT10s.
They were dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, like take, a perfect example. It's a diesel, but take the Excursion.
Yep.
In order for that thing to be kind of what I would consider nice to drive, it needs to make the power level that it makes. Now they rate that, I think with this one turned up, I think they call it that it makes like 450, or maybe 500, something like that. But it makes a stupid amount of torque.
Mm-hmm.
Well, torque is what makes you move. So
yeah, but I mean that made it fun. Now, granted, the Excursion's much heavier than that thing.
Right.
You have a gearbox that the automatic trans. I'm sure first gear is probably short as hell.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's probably so that helps too. I mean, gear is your friend.
It's 8-speed.
Now you got the 8-speed in that too.
Oh, it is an 8-speed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There you go.
I think with 150 more, I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And with a turbo, it doesn't affect, fuel mileage.
And see, the double rims and
shut up.
That's one thing that I'd really like. I need to learn a little bit more about it. I never knew how the newer diesel injectors worked. I mean, I knew that how a diesel itself worked, fuel pressure basically overcame cylinder pressure, timed, and it pushed fuel in. That's how it worked. Mm-hmm. Well, the new electronic diesels, it's the only thing that in the one that I have apparently, and I might have this a little fucked up, but I know about how it works. There's high pressure oil. The high pressure oil actually is what's used to force the fuel in.
Yep.
Like the fuel kind of rides in a rail, like lower pressure rail.
Yeah, but is it a piezo or whatever injector or?
I don't know.
You don't even know.
I know there's still a pintle, so it forces past, and then I guess when compression comes up enough, it's like a one-way check valve.
It's a common rail, so it's got to have some kind of timing,
Well, yeah, it is electronically timed, right. But what makes the injector fire isn't the fuel pressure; it's the oil pressure. Forces like a piston. That the injector gets a charge of fuel, and I guess the piston's at the top, and it's got a disc or some shit, and then bam, the oil forces the fuel in.
Yeah, but you still have to have something that lets it go because it's always that constant pressure.
Yeah, the pintle.
Yeah, but what holds the pintle? Because you have a common rail that's always got that pressure.
Well, the pintle's like a one-way check valve.
Yeah, but it's a one-way check valve with how much pressure against it always.
No, but that's what he's saying.
Yeah.
There's pressure against it always, but then the oil, the hydraulic I guess input to each injector is timed.
But
So it's
what is letting that go? You know what I mean? There's got to be a switch somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, of course there is. I mean, that's what fires. So it is an electronic. It's got
it's working against a ton of pressure. So what is like that multiple times a second? You know, what is that? Pressure switch?
I don't know because for whatever reason they felt it was a better way to do it. At least Ford did.
Right.
To use the oil as the vehicle to force the fuel line.
Right.
But now when you get into the gas direct injected, I imagine it must operate at a very high pressure.
It does.
But I mean, it probably doesn't need to be as high as the diesel stuff is.
How high is diesel?
You know,
Because I want to say the car stuff is a couple thousand psi.
and I'd be willing to bet that, and I should know this because they had it in KPSI, like what
KPA.
what you had to see. KP kilo pound. I think it had to make 500 kilo in order to start. And then I think it had like 25 or 2,600, but there's mechanical advantage there because I think that, the piston is pushing down on, it's a varied displacement.
Yeah.
Like a brake system.
Yep.
So but I mean, what this all comes down to is I don't know what the direct injection offers.
2,200.
Okay. So it's pretty similar.
Yeah.
Now, is the timing, I guess, is super critical, injector timing.
Incredibly critical.
Right.
That's what all the tuners tell me. It's really critical.
Makes sense.
But I think it's just the opposite of what you're thinking. The pressure is what allows them to be that critical. It's not that they wanted the pressure and it in turn required them to be critical with injector timing. The pressure allows them to be injector timing critical so they can fire the fuel at precisely the time of the event that they need it to maximize burn and minimize hydrocarbon release.
Right. But I mean, when you're dealing with an intake injected, pulse width, I think you have more time.
Yeah.
When you're dealing, because again, that critical point to not start the flame front ahead of time, because it was funny. I was listening to something and they were talking about, the Mazda Sky Active, stupid name, but that's there. But if you go look,
Sounds like a radio.
Yeah. I don't know how they came up with that.
Who knows?
But if you look at the Wikipedia page for that, some of those motors are like 13.5, 13.7.
He said Wikipedia.
Yeah.
You mean compression?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. They are. Well, we're not arguing this point. All I'm saying is the pressure more than it doesn't, it allows the pressure is allowing them to utilize the fact that they can be really accurate with the timing.
Okay. Right. And I get that. But what I'm trying to get at is you say the injectors have headroom. Do they have headroom because they work like when they tune these things and need more from the injector, do they go up in high pressure?
I think they
fuel
go
pressure.
I think they go up in pressure. Yeah.
And I wonder what that window's like because we knew that you could only open an injector under X amount of pressure. Given your situation, I mean, that's you had a window. You couldn't be any more than.
Well, that. It's probably a little bit of each. You got to remember if they're making power in these things, they're putting camshaft in them. So you can account for some earlier valve event, some more duration event, and you can keep the injection event a little bit longer and up the pressure.
But you see, really, would you keep and I see that's something
I don't know.
I'd have to think about that because if you had more overlap or you had, well, I guess really in the firing event, it doesn't matter because everything is in fact closed. Wow, that gets to be.
And they're rollers now. They've been for years, so you can really the cam action is a lot easier
extremely
to work
fast.
with. Yeah.
Well, it just seems to me like you have such a short window to fire that injector to get that quantity of fuel in.
That's why the pressure's so high.
Yeah, well, they're talking 14.1 compression too now.
Yeah, a lot of, and that's where the mileage comes from. That's really
better story.
The direct injection. Look, when there's nothing that's more fuel efficient than a perfectly tuned race motor. I mean, they make they're fantastic.
Yep.
That's what brake specific fuel curve is.
Yep.
But they're efficient only where you want them to
exactly that one box.
That everywhere else, you're getting three.
Piece of shit, right?
Yep. So what really happened is the fuel delivery mechanism allowed you to use more compression and now allowed the motors to become more efficient. That's really, I mean, that's why diesels are good. People don't understand why diesels are good. They're always running it like lean best.
Yeah, they're always lean
until you overfuel them.
Right.
Then they're smoking. You know?
Right. So people, I mean, I can't tell you how many people don't know that diesels don't have a throttle body. They don't have a flapper except for a runaway valve. They don't have anything. When you give a diesel more fuel, they accelerate until you get to the point that you put in more fuel than they can burn, and then they get what they call coal rollers.
Yeah. Well, that are like when they tell people don't start that thing with ether. Because the thing can if it puddles up in the air filter, that's it. The motor's got a fuel supply, and it'll just take off as soon as it fires up.
Oh, I can tell you. Listen, I've started that excursion many, many times. Not only have I started it with ether, I've kept it running with ether. Like especially like troubleshooting a thing.
Wow.
You soak the air filter up pretty good, and then you crank the thing, and it's like, and then it goes, and you just keep sitting there and shooting the air cleaner. You can keep the thing running.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, people blow them up. They have all kinds of stuff. But that's, I think that it's fantastic because compression is your friend.
Sure.
The only place it hurts you is at the fuel pump or, in the pocket if you had a mistake with ignition timing. So if they can have these things up 14 and 15 to 1, that's a nice chunk of free horsepower.
And they're also saying, they love boost. So there you go.
I wonder, well, they shouldn't like boost any more than anything else.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about a pre-ignition though.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, they're running pretty heavy boost at 12 to 1, static.
Yeah.
Which unheard of, a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Everything had to be at 9 to 1, 8.5 to 1.
Now, ironically, there's no drag race stuff that's using this. There's no direct
DI.
Yeah.
It's still too new, I think.
I mean, in super stock, I would imagine they have to be.
Yeah, they probably have to.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if they have to.
I don't either, but I mean, the new Camaro has it now, so they.
Is it on the V8 or the V6 only?
I think it's on the V8 and 16.
Oh, all right. Yeah, because I was looking at this.
What if you want to race a pickup truck?
Yeah,
they've had DI for 3 years now.
Yeah.
What did you say? S-Bud?
Yeah.
Idiot.
LCAM.
Yeah.
No, I'd like to learn a little more about that. Do you have any of your guys that are?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, because one of those guys, you could be like, look, you want to call like you talked about the one guy?
Yeah, Howard would be good.
Who's Howard?
Howard at Redline.
Okay. Yeah, he's
a DI expert.
Yeah,
he could really tell us, what's up, and he's really tight with some people at GM, so he's pretty on the cutting edge as well.
Okay, and that would, I mean, I'd like to know.
Maybe I'll try that for next week.
Yeah, I'd like to just know more about it.
You don't have to sign off on you can't let the information go until it's public.
No, he's good. You know what else I would like to get a carburetor guy in here. Funny thing, my brother just sold his car, and I don't think he sold it because he wanted to sell it. He could not get this thing to run right anymore. He had a bone stock 750 Holly on it. And my contention has been for a couple years now that the carburetor doesn't realize how it's supposed to work with fuel that has 15 or 20% ethanol in it. So you either have a lean pop if you run it just the way Holly builds it, or you got to run it so fast to cover up the lean pop, and then it's a piece of shit.
Well, there's my irrelevance again.
Sorry. He's so fat. I think I said fast.
Yeah. I think when we were using any of the pump fuels for Brian's circle track stuff, the initial 2-barrel stuff was 9 to 1.
Yeah.
And we used to stop at Amoco, which they're now gone. But we get Amoco pump premium, and that's what we use. But that was conventional.
Didn't have ethanol in it.
I don't think it had ethanol
Everything
in it.
does now.
Yeah.
Between 10 and 20%.
Well, either that or that they make the carburetors specifically for E85 now too. So.
Oh, I didn't know they did.
Yeah. That's why all the guys doing the turbo through a carburetor, hot air, are they're making over 1,000 horsepower. Blowing through that carburetor.
Well, yeah. I mean, I know. There's guys that do carburetors for ethanol,
right?
But I mean, Holly, if you buy a 750, they don't have an ethanol carburetor, do they?
No. Well, it's like CSU and a couple of those companies. Yeah. Modify them for you.
Yeah, I bought one from CSU for Rudy, the guy that called in.
Yeah, I think, and I don't think we really have it here. I mean, I haven't seen E85 at any station
over towards Newark. I think has it.
There's one in Elizabeth.
And one in Elizabeth. Junior goes there all the time to fill up his GTR.
But isn't it jerked off? Doesn't it cost a ton to make that stuff?
I don't know.
Well,
it's a different show.
It's less a gallon, but the thing is you burn
different
twice
show.
as much.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, they, the people say that. That's a political thing. So yeah, people say, oh yeah, it costs corn and sugar and
we
blah,
can't
blah, blah.
eat the food because we're making it into gas.
Yeah, but I think that's all horseshit. I mean,
no, I think it is.
They wouldn't be selling it if they weren't making money on it,
Right.
and it's less than gas.
A lot less.
So,
but you burn twice as much of it. So
yeah, but they don't
equals
care.
out. Yeah, equals out.
The people that make it don't care. They want you to burn twice as much.
Oh,
Well, yeah, the 10% thing, I'd be curious. I mean, never had an air fuel meter on one to know what it changes. And I mean, most people that are tuning, that's what they know for fuel. I mean, can you go anywhere now and get
I don't know.
ethanol fuel?
I don't think you can.
Not here.
That's why, an injected car, of today, like
the multi-fuel and all that crap.
everything we have can adjust to it a little bit, but a carburetor can't. A carburetor has no idea. And my brother had guys working on this thing, racers, people that know carburetors, and they're like, oh yeah, we got to put a different cam in the injector. I mean, in the accelerator pumps. And I'm like, really, I don't think there's anything you can do.
Well, you got to keep in mind, it's not a 10% change. It's a 10% addition of something. So it's not like you took 10% and subtracted it from how it would perform. You've put 10% of this substance in.
Well,
so
it's actually 15% here most of the time.
Is it?
In Jersey? Yeah. I think. Somebody call and tell me I'm wrong. I think it's 15%. Every pump that I've looked at, now that I think about it, I think the pumps, don't they say contains at least
at least
10%?
Wow.
Especially Hess used to have that and everything, didn't it?
Yeah.
So, but I mean, think about it. You're putting, let's say 15% of alcohol in your car with a carburetor. Now, if you got an alcohol carburetor, the jet sizes are like 15 numbers bigger. Mm-hmm. So if you put 15% in, there has to be some change.
That, and it's not always that, because when Junior was going to do it, which gas station you want to go to, because some of them don't have as much ethanol in the fuel, and it affected how much boost you can run and crap.
Well,
like
they have Pocket E85 testers now.
Yeah. The guy B-Doc, who listens on Mixler all the time, he said that it's between 10 and 15%. I think what happens is some of that's seasonal variance too.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I don't know. I never even gave that I guess with the injected cars, it doesn't matter. It sorts itself out. But yeah, carburetors.
Wideband reads it, and they needs more fuel, it gives more fuel.
It's the older injected cars that have a problem with it because they don't understand what it is.
Right.
And I guess, with the flex fuel vehicles, I guess they'll take E85. They'll
take regular. They'll take anything.
Yeah, they'll run on anything.
Yep.
But like I said, I know that a lot of circle track guys, there was a big fight about this. These retards at the circle track. They all the crate engine guys, when you got a limited class, they look for everything they can.
Sure.
So they all wanted to use E85, runs cooler, makes more power, everything's better about it. And then, the guys were, and their argument was it's commercially available fuel, anybody can buy it, and it's cheap. Kind of hard to argue with.
You got a blower on your car? No, right?
No.
On what car?
On the Corvette?
No. It's just a big engine.
Because you can, E85 wouldn't help you as much, but Howard at Redline, they do conversions all the time where they have a switch. Because all the flex fuel vehicles have this switch. So it bolts right in and integrates into the computer. It would integrate into yours, and you could actually have a two-tune system. And
is that what it is?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, now, because I never drove a flex fuel vehicle, is there a switch? Or does it just know what you have?
Oh, no, it knows. It's a switch, but it's automatic.
Okay.
I don't know if it reads the fuel or if it just knows once you go real lean that you put E85 in it. I have no clue how it works. But there is a switching mechanism that you can put. Howard puts them in Corvettes pretty much all the time. Because with supercharged stuff, you could make a ton more power on E85.
Yeah, well, I
boost the hell out of it.
I couldn't get it anywhere. Hang on, we got
true.
Got another caller here. Hold on a minute here. 609 area code.
Huh.
Not very far away.
You're on the air, buddy. What's up?
This is Brandon B. Doc that's been listening in.
Hey, man. How are you? This is the guy that was cracking up at the Thanks for Quality One. That's good. Now I got your number, so we'll definitely keep you informed on the T-shirts. Yeah, down there, you're in where? In South Jersey?
Yes.
Yeah, so there are stations down there with the 85, right?
Not many. Probably the closest is somewhere near Acco Raceway.
Yeah.
And then I got another one right across the bridge in Philadelphia.
Yeah, Penske has them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen that stuff anywhere up here at all, ever. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Ted, you said what, Elizabeth?
Something like that, because one of Junior's guys, he tuned it a dual, one for ED5, one for that, and because he's like right next to the ED5 station. I was like, that's a goddamn 20-minute drive for me. What the hell would I want to do that for?
Well, with the E85, like the flex fuel stuff, that the sensor, it sees the amount of alcohol content in the fuel, and then it switches the map for the computer.
Okay.
So it actually reads that there's some kind of sensor that actually looks at the fuel.
So that's what I was wondering too, because if you put a half tank of gas and you put a half tank of E85 in there, you have some kind of odd mixture.
Well, there's probably an overlap that like one running towards a richer side would handle X amount, and then the other side could be lean enough to handle the other side. You know what I mean? There's probably a good overlap period so that you probably get to a point where it says I could use either.
Yeah.
I could use either map until you were really heavily E85. Now it's pretty neat. You see, these are the things that, like I said before, when you don't do this stuff anymore,
we don't know it all.
You don't know it all. No, that's interesting.
So Brandon, what do you have something that's flex fuel?
No, but I know a lot of guys around here that run it, especially like the GTRs, Porsche guys.
Yep.
I'm straight gas guy, gas or race gas. I don't mess with the.
What do you drive?
All that stuff. I have an Acura NSX. I have a back half Toyota Corolla on building 80 with a non-rotary. It's actual 4-cylinder turbo motor.
What 4-cylinder?
The 3TC.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know what it is. A Toyota.
I got to stop you. Real quick. I had a Toyota. What kind of car is it? Is it a Corolla?
Yeah, it's a Corolla.
Oh my God. I had one of those things. I don't know why the hell I ended up with it. I don't know where I got it from, but that thing had a 3TC motor in it. I beat the shit out of that thing and I could never break that thing.
Yeah.
Never. I forgot about that car because you guys around here aren't going to know, but during a much younger day.
I think I remember you having it too.
Yeah, it was
wondering how the hell's he got that thing?
Yeah, and the funny thing was the clutch went bad in it. It was stuck on. So everywhere I went, I started it. Like I'd stop at a traffic.
Yeah.
I mean, I drove it like that for a year. But that thing coming home from actually Krachen's house, like right there was another kid that lived right down the road that we always used to go to his house. His parents went away every weekend, so we just get drunk and mess over there. I'm coming back. There's a railroad track over there. And, half in a bag, you're not paying attention. I must have jumped that thing like 30 feet. The suspension was all bent in it. Oh, my God. That's funny. That's exactly the year I had. Exactly.
So you got a back half one.
Yeah, I'm building it now. And then I also have a race chassis. But I know you guys are going to hate me for this. I got a big block Pontiac, but,
No hating here.
Is it going to chase the goat?
You don't sound like a weirdo.
Or the crow?
Old school Pontiac, though.
Yeah, that's good. That's cool. And what kind of car is that in?
I have a tube chassis. It's actually it's for a G body, but I got to figure out what body I'm going with on the actual chassis. So,
Got it.
Can you buy like all G body components now? Like to build, like if you had a chassis, can you buy like G body parts? I mean, can you buy like fenders and, can you still get that stuff?
I think one of those, National Parts Depot or one of those, places that, have their parts to restore cars, I think they still do.
Interesting. That might be a way to go.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Be an easier way to go. It's easier to get one. I mean, you probably still need the back shell, right?
Yeah. Yeah, firewall back.
Yeah.
With a VIN number.
Mm-hmm.
But that shouldn't be hard to get.
Yeah, because most of the time you can just get the fenders, the hood, doors, the trunk.
Well, you gotta watch it because I went up. I got a Vega wagon, and there's rusty stuff, and I was looking. You can't even get the fiberglass stuff for them anymore because there's just who's taking away a Vega anymore. They're all rotted away.
Exactly. Why would you look at one of them?
There was a V8 wagon, V8 Vega wagon. It's like I picked it up for $700, and then I couldn't find nothing for it.
Mute him.
All right, Brandon. Well, it was nice. Thanks for calling. And Tom, I'm going
Oh,
to.
yeah, you hit me with the thanks for calling. I see.
Oh,
Hey, post
Give me-
your cars on
Give me the
sorry.
pen and notebook.
Yeah, I know.
on Power and Speed.
Post your cars on Power and Speed. I'm throwing pens around and shit. Post your cars on Power and Speed. Let us take a look at them.
I'll try to get somebody to post them. I don't have Facebook or anything. so-
Really?
They say.
He's like Mike.
That's.
I'm old school.
Yep.
Old school.
That's
there
all
you
right.
go.
Good.
I'm
Listen,
a young guy. But
Okay,
I'm
put it on MySpace then.
That Facebook shit is evil. I mean, God forbid you're no good. I that's why I don't really have a real profile. Fuck all that. I'm right there with you, buddy. All right, I got your phone number, so I'm gonna call you and you're gonna be getting a shirt as soon as we're ready.
All right. Well,
Right.
if you have my number, I can send you pictures over the phone. But
That'll work.
All right. Yeah,
Okay,
that's
we
cool.
can
Then
post
we'll,
them.
then we'll put them up. Yeah, Tad'll put them up.
Yep, we'll send you a text.
that works.
All right, man.
See ya.
Thanks.
Good dude.
That's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks for calling.
Those. Yeah, he's funny. That was good. I like that. He those Corollas, man, they are so short.
Oh
You
yeah.
put any power in them. Those guys
Sit on the back end.
They're crazy.
I don't know where the fuck I got that car from. That like people always ask like what cars you, and that one always just like I forget it.
Well, it sticks in my mind. I didn't like imports back then. I was like, why the hell's Mike driving something like that? You know.
Well, because it was a rear wheel drive.
Well, that makes it all the difference in the world.
Probably free.
Well, yeah.
I remember my scumbag friends. We used to hang out in the parking lot, and it's a PC Richards, but it used to be the cinema.
Yeah.
There's a Burger King there and everything. And Lenny and Sean, these two douchebags, they picked it up and carried it over to one of those light poles. So you got the big concrete bottom. They took the back tires off, put the tires on the hood, and lined up all the lug nuts. Fucking dude. The cops come and go to throw us out. I was somewhere. I came back, and the cop's sitting there next to my car. There's my car up on the light pole. And he's like, looks like you've been vandalized. I was like, yeah.
Yeah. Thanks
These
for reminding
pesky
me.
kids.
Jeez.
Oh, you know that. Like when we come back to Somerville, somebody would leave their car there, go with somebody else. You come back and there's Mean Streak. If anybody knows that, when you're in a junkyard, they got those pens that they rate all the parts.
Yep.
Another
You-
guy just wrote in chat, John, Honest Charlie, A&G Body Parts.
Oh, okay.
Really?
So, yeah, that's it might be an option because I bet you could probably make something a lot cooler, like starting from. I mean, I would love to have a tube chassis car in the street.
It'd probably be cheaper
Like the
to
Pro.
buy new parts than get something massaged up and fixed up anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the time you're done, probably.
Yeah.
Mike would probably remember because I don't know if we came back, if I was with you and Lucifer, we came back and somebody took the Mean Streak and wrote window netting on all my windows. And the cop's like, what are you doing? I was like, I came back. You think I did this? You know, when they yell at you.
Dude, the shoe polish thing,
On the shoe polish. Oh, man.
that's a whole nother topic. I mean, it was the worst. Shoe polish, silly string. We were we never hurt anybody.
No.
You know, I mean, we never did anything really fucked up. But just writing shit like "I'm gay" across the back of somebody's
Yeah.
car.
Yep.
You know, just
And then their mother wakes them up in the morning. Oh, your friends there were here
your
last
friends are
night.
again. Oh yeah, we used to sneak over to Tad's house at night. And you'd see his fucking goofy head looking out the window because he'd hear something.
No, Chrissy would call me and tell me they're coming down the street.
That's funny.
Misspent days of youth.
Yeah. You
But
kidding.
they were fun.
Yeah, they were fun. We can't do that shit anymore.
Glad we survived them.
Now, if you're driving down the road and somebody sees you doing something, they call it cops.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
No, I guess we're wrapping it up.
Yep.
We did pretty good for no research, no game plan.
You
no
know,
crunch, no FUD.
we talk about all the time that we actually have to get a game plan, but we just never seem to do it.
We suck.
All of a sudden, it's there.
I know.
But nobody will call in and tell us, so.
Oh, well, trust me, we'll get some hatred.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see all you guys next week. Thanks.
Later.